The phone lights up, notification after notification. Thousands of hearts flooding the screen. 26 years ago today, Patrick types, his fingers pausing over the keyboard. I can't imagine life without you. The post goes live. Within minutes, congratulations pour in from every corner of the internet. But this isn't just another celebrity anniversary post. This is the celebration of a love story that almost ended in divorce. A marriage that Hollywood predicted would crumble. A bond that defied every odds stacked against it. This is Patrick Dempsey's greatest victory. And it's not on any TV screen. July 31st, 1999. A young makeup artist named Jillian Fink walks down the aisle toward a rising actor with piercing blue eyes. Patrick Dempsey is 33. She's trusting him with her heart. Neither of them knows that in 16 years, she filed for divorce. But let's start at the beginning. Patrick Galen Dempsey was born in Lewiston, Maine on January 13, 1966. His childhood wasn't the fairy tale you'd expect from McDreamy. His mother, Amanda, worked multiple jobs. His father struggled with alcoholism. Money was tight. Dreams felt impossible. I was the kid who got picked on, Patrick would later reveal. I was different. I couldn't focus in school. What Patrick didn't know then was that he had dyslexia. Reading was a battle. Numbers jumbled together. Teachers called him lazy. But there was one place where everything made sense. The stage at 17, Patrick auditioned for a traveling production of Torch Song Trilogy. He had no formal training, no connections, just raw talent and desperate hope. He got the part. For 9 months, he toured the country. A small-town kid from Maine performing in front of strangers every night. Learning that he could become someone else, someone confident, someone worthy of attention. That's when I knew, he said years later. This was my escape. But Hollywood wasn't ready to embrace him yet. The 1980s arrived with promise and rejection in equal measure. Patrick moved to Los Angeles with nothing but ambition and a suitcase full of dreams. Audition after audition. No after no. You're too tall for this part. You're not leading man material. Maybe try community theater. Every rejection stung. But Patrick kept going. Then came Can't Buy Me Love in 1987. Patrick played Ronald Miller, nerdy high school student who pays the popular girl to pretend to be his girlfriend. The movie was a surprise hit. Suddenly, Patrick Dempsey was a name people recognized. But fame in the 80s was different. Crueler. The pressure was immense. Patrick found himself caught between who he was and who Hollywood wanted him to be. The sweet, awkward characters became his typecast prison. I was the lovable loser, he later admitted. And I started to believe that's all I'd ever be. Relationships suffered. His first marriage to actress Rocky Parker in 1987 was complicated. From the start, she was 26 years older. The media had a field day. They called me a gold digger, Patrick remembered. But I loved her. She taught me about acting, about life. The marriage lasted 7 years. When it ended in 1994, Patrick was heartbroken and financially devastated. He was 28. His career had stalled. His personal life was in shambles. That's when he met a makeup artist named Jillian Fink. It was 1994. Patrick was filming a small project. Jillian was behind the scenes working her magic with brushes and powders. She didn't treat me like a celebrity, Patrick said. She treated me like a person. Jillian saw past the Hollywood facade. She saw the insecure kid from Maine who still felt like he didn't belong. Their first conversation lasted 3 hours. We talked about everything Jillian remembered. His dreams, his fears, his family. He was so different from his image. They dated for 5 years. Patrick was in no rush to remarry. The failure of his first marriage haunted him, but Jillian was patient. She understood his hesitation. "I knew he was worth waiting for," she said. On July 31st, 1999, they exchanged vows. Patrick was 33. Jillian was 33. They thought they had figured it all out. The early 2000s brought new challenges. Patrick's career was still struggling. He took roles in forgettable romantic comedies. Critics were harsh. "Patrick Dempsey is charming, but limited," wrote one reviewer. The words cut deep. At home, Jillian was building her own career as a celebrity makeup artist. She worked with A-list clients, built a successful beauty brand. Found her own spotlight. Patrick watched his wife flourish while his own career stagnated. The dynamic shifted. "I felt like I was losing myself," he admitted years later. But then came the phone call that changed everything. Grey's Anatomy. Shonda Rhimes had a character, a neurosurgeon. Charming but flawed. Dedicated but complicated. Derek Shepherd. Patrick Shepherd. Patrick, read the script. This wasn't the lovable loser he'd been playing for years. This was a man with depth, complexity, real problems, and real passion. The audition was perfect. Patrick embodied Derek from the first line. "Welcome to your new life," the casting director said, but nobody predicted what happened next. Grey's Anatomy premiered on March 27, 2005. By episode 2, Patrick Dempsey had become McDreamy. Women across America fell in love with Derek Shepherd. Patrick's face was on magazine covers. Smiles sold millions of products. But fame is a double-edged sword. The schedule was brutal. 14-hour days, 6 days a week. Months without a real break. At home, Jillian was raising their 3 children largely alone. Tallulah was born in 2002. The twins, Darby and Sullivan, arrived in 2007. "I felt like a single mother," Jillian later confessed. Patrick was consumed by the show. Character. The pressure to maintain McDreamy perfection. Their conversations became logistics. Their intimacy became scheduled. Their marriage became work. "We were roommates," Patrick said, "not lovers." The cracks started small. Missed dinners. Forgotten anniversaries. Conversations that never happened. Then the rumors started. Tabloids whispered about affairs. About Patrick's wandering eye. About a marriage in crisis. Most of it was speculation. But some of it hit too close to home. "I wasn't the husband I promised to be." Patrick admitted that the fame had changed him. The success had isolated him. The pressure had made him selfish. Jillian tried to hold the family together. But she was drowning. "I lost myself," she said. "I forgot who I was outside of being Patrick's wife." For years, they lived parallel lives, connected by children and contracts, but strangers in their own home. Then came 2015. The phone call was brief, professional, cold. "I filed for divorce," Jillian said. Patrick stared at the papers. 15 years of marriage reduced to legal jargon. Custody arrangements. Asset division. This was real. The media explosion was immediate. McDreamy's marriage nightmare. Patrick. Dempsey's wife files for divorce. Every detail was dissected. Every rumor became fact. Every private moment became public property. Patrick's world collapsed. "I thought I was going to lose everything," he said. "But sometimes rock bottom is the foundation you build on." Patrick made a choice. He could fight the divorce, protect his image, blame Jillian for not understanding his career, or he could fight for his marriage. He chose love. "I realized I had become someone I didn't recognize," Patrick said. The fame, the success, the pressure, I had lost sight of what really mattered. He left Grey's Anatomy after 11 seasons. The show that made him a star became the sacrifice he made for his family. "It was the hardest decision of my career," he said, "but the easiest decision of my life." Patrick and Jillian entered couples therapy. Not for the cameras, not for publicity, for survival. "We had to learn how to be friends again," Jillian said. "The sessions were brutal. Years of resentment spilled out. Accusations flew. Tears fell. But slowly, something began to shift." They remembered. Why they fell in love. The 3-hour conversation. The laughter. The dreams they once shared. "I fell in love with Jillian all over again," Patrick said. In January 2016, just months before their divorce was set to be finalized, Jillian made another phone call. "I'm withdrawing the petition," she told her lawyer. They were going to try again. The road back wasn't easy. Trust had to be rebuilt. Intimacy had to be rediscovered. Love had to be chosen daily. But they did the work. Patrick threw himself into being present, not just physically, but emotionally. He coached his son's sports teams. He attended his daughter's school events. He remembered what it felt like to be a family. "I stopped taking them for granted," he said. Jillian found her voice. Again, she expanded her beauty business. She traveled for work. She reclaimed her identity outside of being Mrs. McDreamy. "I remembered who I was before I became his wife," she said. Their marriage became a partnership again. Two whole people choosing each other every day. The children noticed. The tension lifted. The laughter returned. "We became a family again." Their daughter Tallulah said. Patrick's career took new directions. He returned to racing, his longtime passion. He took on film projects that challenged him. He found joy in work again. But his priority remained clear. Family first became his motto. Years passed, the tabloids moved on to other stories. The scandal faded into Hollywood history. But Patrick and Jillian kept building. They traveled together, celebrated milestones, supported each other's dreams. In 2023, Patrick was named People's Sexiest Man Alive. At 57, he was one of the oldest recipients of the title. "This one's for you," he told Jillian, holding the magazine. She laughed. "You're still the same man. I fell in love with %, and that's the truth that matters." Now, at 59, Patrick Dempsey is celebrating 26 years of marriage. But more than that, he's celebrating the choice to fight for love. The Instagram post from July 31st, 2025, shows a rare wedding photo from 1999. Jillian is getting a touch-up from her makeup artist friend. Patrick is watching her with pure adoration. Years ago today, his caption reads, "I can't imagine life without you. Thank you so much for your love and support and understanding. Loving my weaknesses as much as my strength. You're an incredible mother and an incredible wife." The comments pour in by the thousands. Goals. True love exists. McDreamy found his forever person. But the most meaningful response comes from Jillian herself. "Happy 26th, she writes. "Found this sweet little moment captured. Here's too many. More years of choosing each other. Choosing each other. That's the secret. Love isn't a feeling that happens to you. It's a decision you make every day." Patrick and Jillian Dempsey learned that the hard way. Through divorce papers and therapy sessions. Through public humiliation and private rebuilding, they learned that marriage isn't about finding the perfect person. It's about choosing to love an imperfect person perfectly. Today, as congratulations pour in from around the world, Patrick and Jillian celebrate more than an anniversary. They celebrate resilience, growth, second chances. They celebrate the fact that some love stories don't end when they're supposed to. Some love stories get better when they almost break. Their 3 children, Tallulah, now 23, and twins Darby and Sullivan, 18, are watching. Learning that commitment isn't about never failing. It's It's about getting back up when you do. The twins graduated high school this year. Patrick posted rare photos, beaming with pride. "So proud of you boys." He wrote, "The family that almost fractured is now sending their children into the world with a different model of love. One that's honest about struggle, but committed to growth." Patrick's racing career continues. At 59, he's still chasing checkered flags and personal bests. But his greatest victory is sitting beside him every night. "We're not the same people who got married in 1999, Patrick says. "We're better." Jillian nods. "We had to almost lose each other to find each other again." Their love story isn't a fairy tale. It's better than that. It's real, as the congratulations continue to pour in. Patrick and Jillian Dempsey prove that some things are worth fighting for. Sometimes the greatest love stories are the ones that end. But Don, single quotes, if their story resonates with you, share it with someone you love. Sometimes we all need reminding that the best chapters are still being written. What do you think about Patrick and Jillian's journey? Have you ever had to fight for love? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more incredible stories of resilience and hope.